This is the unique and inspiring story of Bryce Weiler, a 25-year-old sportcaster who loves to show the world that nothing is impossible as long as you keep the right mindset and always help out others, no matter what your own situation is. Bryce has commented over 100 sporting events on the radio. Bryce started his sportscasting career for the University of Evansville, where Bryce earned a bachelor's degree in sport administration and sport communication. After commentating his first basketball game, many games followed in a variety of sports like soccer, volleyball, baseball, and softball. But commentating is not as easy for Bryce as it might sound when you listen to him on the radio. Bryce was born 4 months premature with an eye condition that is referred to as retinopathy of prematurity, and through this his retina did not form. At a very young age, Bryce had learned to make adjustments and to find his way in this world without his sight. Bryce spent his early childhood learning how to read Braille and how to use a cane. Not only Bryce, but also Bryce's parents had to make quite some changes in their lives. They devoted a lot of time to Bryce by driving him to different doctor's appointments and helping him where needed. Yet, this still stimulated Bryce to be independent and encouraged him to find his own way through life. Little did they know how that would turn out. Bryce remembers his favorite childhood memories listening to the radio where Don Fisher was commentating for the Indiana Hoosiers. He also enjoyed crawling on his hands and knees, pushing toy tractors down the hallway. It was early in his youth that Bryce developed a passion for sports, and NASCAR in particular. Bryce wanted to know every detail about Jeff Gordon's number 24 car. By the time Bryce was 12 years old, his parents had another child, a baby girl. Bryce now has 3 little sisters who he really enjoys spending time with. His sisters help Bryce when he needs to read something, and they enjoy playing softball together. And just like all siblings, they have their little secrets their parents don't need to know about.
People should never take for granted their being able to see or not being disabled, as this is something that can be taken away from them at any moment. However, through this, there will be many great individuals who can help people out in their life, whether it's students, as I've had helping me at Evansville and at Western Illinois, or basketball coaches and radio commentators. People will always be willing to help individuals be successful.
The Bison coaching staff understands the importance of this first quarter, spending a timeout pretty early in this contest. Timeout they would lose at the end of the first half, but maybe Coach Gravina can force them to spend another if his team goes on a run.
It's not that he's not capable, but there aren't a lot of Bryces out there that have paved the way. And people tend not to operate especially well when they get out of their comfort zone. Not because Bryce is blind, but because they can't figure out how to use Bryce's skills. And it puts them in an uncomfortable spot at the workplace. And I think that's a shame. That is something that can be easily fixed, but you have to find the motivation within companies, the motivation within leadership in companies to have the courage to let Bryce blaze a trail. He's so inspirational. He's leading by example. He's out trying to do the things that need to be done regardless of his condition. And I think that you can use his skills in any number of ways. Obviously there are things that with his vision problem make it more difficult but not impossible. And you just have to get a little more creative with a guy like Bryce. But there's so much talent there that I think it's worth the investment. Emotionally and mentally, he probably is much more mature than many people who are out working in the workforce today. His intellect is incredible, his memories are incredible, his work ethic is incredible. It's just the physical challenges that not only Bryce, but people in his condition face.
Dunstan can really shoot three-pointers very well. Coach Gravina wants to force them to make her shoot twos as Western Illinois inbounds, picks up a quick travel and gives it back to North Dakota State, who can maybe score 5 or 6 straight.
And to make my own journey through sports and through life, as many people have not thought that I could do it or have not wanted to help me contact others. So I've had to go out and contact most of the individuals who I'm friends with in sports, and I have found that there are many great people who are willing to help me in this world, whether they're famous or not, whether they're a student or a famous coach, manager, or broadcaster. And it's really shown me that no matter a person's job title, that he or she can impact others' lives.
Weiler, first pitch today, guest of the Orioles ownership, a great friend of Paul Molitor and their bench coach, Joe Vavra. John Russell was out there from the Orioles. He threw it. Molitor made the catch. He was born without sight. And he is an ambassador for the disabled at sports venues all across the nation, looking to help the disabled and their needs at sports venues to make it more fun for them to come to the ballpark or any sporting event. Great job and a very special moment here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
Yeah, great.
He is persistent. He is consistent but very persistent. And when a young man has something in his mind, he is not going to quit until it is obvious that it's not going to happen. And I think that's a positive, a very, very positive quality that he has.
I'd like to be able to find a job where I can impact others, no matter if they're student athletes, just individuals at a university, whether it's students, faculty, or just individuals in general. I'd like to be able to show them that any individual can overcome obstacles in their life, whether they were born with a disability or they've had some sort of an issue put in front of them. I'd like to show them that this is something that a person can overcome if he or she sets his or her mind to doing this.
Bryce might not ever be able to live his ultimate dream, which is being able to see. To this day, there is no surgery that could give Bryce the sight he so longingly dreams of. Even though gaining some sort of sight may not be meant for Bryce, he still gets great satisfaction out of helping other people through sports and helping all kinds of disabled people having a better time. Bryce is very passionate about making sure everybody can enjoy sports without the obstacles disabled people are still facing today. Bryce keeps blazing the trail and setting the example to people across the board that helping others is always worth the investment, for yourself and the individual you might be impacting.
So what do you bring to the table? You obviously bring passion. How can you translate your passion for what's going on the court? How do you do that?
I always analyze what's happening in the game, but much more importantly, I speak about the lives of the players and coaches off the court. I talked about Coach Fran McCaffrey and his willingness to take care of his family, and the same thing for the Iowa players. And I talked about Coach Richardson of Kansas City and his willingness to help out Coach Hollander after he was let go from Mississippi State, and how they've been friends forever and played together at Evansville and stayed together as roommates throughout college. So I mentioned things that other analysts might not mention because they can see what's happening on the court, such as a good position for a rebound or a good set for a three-point shot. But I mentioned the things that are more important. I discussed basketball and how it can transcend sports and go into life.
Amen. Amen.
I can be having what I think is a lousy day, and I can talk to Bryce, and everything just seems a lot better because he's so positive. He's so inspirational. He has an excellent memory. I mean, just an unbelievable memory, and his physical skill sets, his ability to speak and to communicate are way above average, and I think those are good assets for him, and will help him overcome any sight impaired obstacles in the workplace. I think he's got a future as a speaker, as a motivational speaker. When you live the life, walk the walk, talk the talk, and can do it by example, that's an incredible set of skills. Bryce and I we'll talk on the phone at least once a month, if not more. I try to hook up with him when I can in person. It's a friendship that it has transcended some mentor-mentee type of relationship to, it's much more personal now. He's not a young man that I'm trying to help. He's a friend that I enjoy talking to regardless of what the situation is or what the motive of the call is. And he's got a great sense of humor, and he's just he's an honest, hard-working kid who is in a very difficult spot. Through no doing of his own, and from many perspectives, that's the ultimate situation where you want to reach out and help somebody.
I think that my journey through sports and overcoming obstacles transcends the realm of sports and can impact a university or a company as a whole by showing individuals that if a person sets his or her mind to overcoming an obstacle or a challenge, that this is something that they can do.